Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Welcome to Temple Akiba of Culver City being back in our sanctuary. My name is Rabbi Zach Shapiro. What an honor to be here together with Cantor Lonnie Freilich, our cantorial intern Liz Baseman, and we're here for many reasons. We're here to celebrate tonight. We're here to celebrate Julia, whose bat mitzvah is tomorrow. And we're here because we need to be here. For sure. The world is going through a crazy time right now. And we have an opportunity to gather strength through our presence, through our being together. A little bit later on in the service, we'll have a chance to think about Kiev and Ukraine and Judaism in Ukraine, and to gather strength with one another and to discover what we can and should be doing. At the same time, we will allow ourselves the mitzvah of celebration of Shabbat and of being in this gorgeous space once again. And so to honor this moment in our synagogue, Cantor said to me, I think we should do a Shehecheyanu, a blessing of thanksgiving and renewal, that here we are again in our sacred place. Liz, I'm on capo too.
We continue before we kindle the lights of Shabbat with the song, Bring in the Light, as we bring in the light of being together in person and seeing our faces in the joy of Shabbat, we sing together. breath. Shabbat Shalom, a special day for us to rest. Bring in the light, bring in the light, bring in the light of Shabbat. Light the light of Shabbat. That heartbeat there shall Shabbat.
We have an extraordinary light who is celebrating with us this weekend. And she is going to come forward along with her family, her parents, to light our Shabbat candles tonight and to offer our Kiddush. So we ask you all to come forward. Can't tell what page. Is it page 2, everyone?
Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kishanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu
Lehadlik ner, shel Shabbat. We ask the congregation to please rise for our Kiddush. It's on page 5.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei puri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kishanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu l'shabbat kodsho ve'ahava utatzon inhilanu zikaron le'maaseh bereshit ki hu yom tefilah le'mikra'e kodesh zecher l'yetziat Mitzrayim. Kivanu becharta, v'tanu kidashta, mikol ha'amim, v'shabbat kodshecha, ve'ahava ratzon, imhaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai melech hakodesh Hashabbat. Amen.
L'chaim! Please be seated, everyone. Mazel tov. But Julia, you stay here, and we are going to invite forward 2 very incredible people in our congregation, representing our sisterhood, Valerie Meyer, and representing our men's group, Herman Barnathan. They have some presentations for you. Valerie, Shabbat Shalom. Right up here. Thank you.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
It is my honor to be here tonight representing Temple Akiba Sisterhood and presenting Julia Brown. with this Kiddush cup and candlesticks.
Thank you.
You have demonstrated that you have earned your place as an adult in our faith by conducting parts of tonight's service. We recognize that you've worked really hard and to get to this point in your young life. We also recognize the commitment made by your parents and family in assisting you to achieve this goal. We are very, very proud of you, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you, Helen.
Julia, I'm Herman Varnathan from the men's group.
Hi.
You got your Kiddush cup, so you can have your wine. You got your candlesticks, so you can light your candles. What I have for you, now you can start studying.
Thank you.
This is the Tanakh, Jewish Bible. It starts with the Bereshit, and it goes all the way through. Anything you need to know about Judaism is in this book. Cherish it, read it. It's yours, it's inscribed with your name, with the date of the bat mitzvah tomorrow, both in English and Hebrew. There's a place in the book, you'll see it, but you'll see over this yourself anyway, but there is a place in the book where you can remember people who are gone and celebrations with people who are still here. Shabbat Shalom to you. You'll do great tomorrow. I know that for a fact because I heard you in Torah study. Well, I know you are going to do well. Again, Shabbat Shalom. Mazel tov to you. Shabbat Shalom and Mazel tov to your family.
Thank you, Herman. Thank you, Helen. Thank you.
We continue our service. Ooh, let me turn this back on. We continue our service with the singing of Shir Chadash, can be found on page 344. About 3 songs down. Shir Chadash.
Turning to page 26, we invite Julia back forward to lead us in the Chatzi Kaddish. Again, we're on page 26.
Yitgadol v'yishkadash Shnei Rabba Amen
Amadi Rachirute, De Amlich Mahute,
B'chayechom u'yomechom u'b'chaye dechol Beit Yisrael. Bagala, bagala, u'bizman karev. Amen. Yehi shmeira b'mevarach, le'olam u'alamei amaya, yitbarach.
Yitbarach, V'yishtabach, Yitpa'ar, V'yitraman, V'yitnaseh, V'yitadar, V'yitaleh, V'yitalal, Shemei Dekudashah,
Brichu.
Le'elan Mikol B'chirata, L'shirata,
Tush bechata v'nefemata, damiram v'yalama. Amen. Turning now to our formal call to worship, to page 28, we invite all who are able to please rise.
La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la
We remain snowy sit. Let's sit down, everyone. Please be seated. We're going to continue with the singing of Ahavat Olam, the love, the eternal love that God has for humanity. It's on page 32.
Ahavat Olam, Beit
turning to pages 34 and 35, we invite you to please rise, and I want to remind or teach you of an Akiba tradition when we offer the Shema. We take our hands and we put 3 fingers in the air. That creates the Hebrew letter Shin. That's the first letter in the Shema. And we cover our eyes, and we can either keep our eyes open or close them and spiritually take in this deep breath as we offer these ancient words.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Please be seated except for Julia, who's coming forward. Julia will lead us in the V'ahavta on page 36.
אשר אנכי מצווך היום על לבבך ושיננתם עליך ודיברת בם ושתך בביתך ולכתך בדרך ושופטך וקומך וקשרתם מאוד על ידך והיו לטובות בעיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני
What's amazing is that even though we're all wearing masks, Julia, your family is beaming. And we can see them beaming through the masks. What an incredible job you're doing. Friends, when I was growing up, my rabbis in Boston, Bernard Mellman and Ron Friedman, they, in the 80s, for about 4 years in a row, they would go to Ukraine and Russia to smuggle in goods for the refuseniks. The refuseniks were those Jews who wanted to leave but were not granted visas, and they were stuck. And they were pariahs to Russia. They were not allowed jobs, and they had nothing that they could sustain themselves with. And for months in advance, my rabbis would have a collection. They would tell us a pair of blue jeans sold on the market in Russia could sustain a family of 4 for a month. And so we would, go to the store, get a pair of blue jeans, which was, an allowance for some kids, but sustenance for the Jews of Russia. And they would do this over and over. They would smuggle these goods in, and this was a time of great fear in Russia. It was scary to do this. And they would come back and they would give incredible sermons about their experiences. And I think about that each and every time we have this next prayer, which is the Michamocha. It's our prayer for freedom. And it's a reminder that in every generation, there are people that are yearning to be free. And especially now, today, as Ukraine is facing so much peril. And the Jews of Ukraine, and there are still so many of them there, are in fear for their lives, who need our help. Again, a little later in the service, we'll talk more deeply about that. But I want us to have an eye on it now, because when we sing our prayer of freedom, it's not only about the Israelites crossing the desert, it's about every single generation when freedom has been so very much needed. Our Micha Mocha is on page 40.
Who is like you, Adonai? Who is like you,
Our next prayer is based on the Hashkivenu. It's on page 42, but for the most part will be off of the text of the pages here. The prayer teaches that when we go through darkness in our lives, and we've all been there, we remember that God gives us life renewed, and that we stand up, harnessing light wherever we can.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Leshalom, Leshalom. Ve'hamidenu Malkeinu Lechaim. Los aleinu Sukat Shlomecha, Los aleinu Sukat Shlomecha.
We continue now with our Amidah. Begins on page 46. Julia, we're going to ask you to join us again, and we invite all who are able to please rise.
Adonai tzavakatitahu bi'agitaviratecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, El Hagadol Hagibor V'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Dekonei Hakol, Dezocher Chastei Avot Ve'imahot, Umevih Geulah Lipnei Bneihem, Leman Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magid, Baruch atah Adonai, Magid Abraham ve'Ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Nechayei hakol atah, Rav lehoshia, Nechakel chayim bechesed, Nechayei hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim ve'rofeh cholim, Umatir asurim, Unekayem emunato lishenei afar, michamocha pa'af geburot, umidomela, melech memit umechayeh, umatzmiach Yeshua. Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh ha'akol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'chol yom, yechalelu ha'selah. Baruch atah Adonai, Elohim ha'akadosh.
Please be seated, everyone. According to a midrash, there was once a two-headed man who lived in the time of King Solomon. Two-headed man. He fathered 6 children with only one head, but a 7th child had 2 heads as well. When this man died, the son with 2 heads came before King Solomon, demanding a double share of the inheritance. King Solomon was known as the wisest of kings, and he covered one head and poured hot water on the other. Now, what happened is that both mouths cried out, "Ouch!" And from this, King Solomon shared and taught that genetically, both heads were one, and they should be judged as one for inheritance purposes. Now, it may sound like a little bit of a far-fetched midrash, but what Judaism teaches from this is that we are a people with voices and heads in many parts of the world, but we have one soul. And so that when a Jew in Ukraine cries out, we here in Culver City say ouch. And we can never allow our people, or really anyone in humanity, who is crying out to be alone because we feel their pain. And if it's something that's hard to feel because of our own circumstances, because we look out our windows and it's beautiful, it's a teaching in Judaism that is part of our collective thought. Friends, when I was a first-year rabbinic student at the Hebrew Union College Jewish Institute of Religion, I spent that year in Jerusalem, and it was 1992, not long after the fall of the Soviet Union, and Israel was absorbing many Jews from Ukraine and other countries of the Soviet bloc. And part of my job as a rabbinic student was to help these olim, those who had made aliyah, to feel more comfortable as Jews in Israel. Most of the Jews from the former Soviet Union did not have that same kind of religious connection to Judaism as many of us may feel, because for decades, for centuries, their Judaism in Ukraine, in the Soviet Union, was squashed. You think about the centuries of the pogroms, culminating with the Holocaust and what it did to decimate the Jewish people. The Jewish soul was still there. I want to talk a little bit tonight about where Judaism in Ukraine is today. And I want to share some numbers that are important. Most of these I got from the Jewish Telegraphic Agency. And these are numbers that were compiled by Gabe Friedman. It's estimated that on the eve of the Second World War, over 1.5 million Jews lived in what is now Ukraine. 1.5 million Jews in Ukraine. Approximately 1 million of them were murdered in the Holocaust. According to a 1989 census, there were close to half a million Jews who lived in Ukraine before the break of the Soviet Union. After that collapse, 80% of those who were there emigrated mostly to Israel, and those were some that I began to meet as a student. But they went, of course, to the United States, as well as to other places. Just by a show of hands, who here yourself was born in Ukraine? Anyone born in Ukraine who's in the congregation right now? Anyone have a parent who was born in Ukraine? Anyone have a grandparent? How about a great-grandparent? So a lot of us come out of this culture.
How about in-laws?
I'm sorry, Wendy. How about in-laws? Who has an in-law? Or mochatonam, okay, so a lot of us there also. Now, those who remained were mostly poor or elderly. Similar to at the Holocaust, those who remained in Germany tended to be poor or elderly, but not entirely. Many of them, of course, as we shared, have been disconnected from Judaism because of decades and centuries of persecution. But even those who didn't self-identify as Jews, everyone knew who was a Jew. And even if someone didn't feel a religious tie, those who didn't like them knew who they were and knew who they were Jewish. There was a 2020 demographic study that estimated that beside a core of about 40,000 Jews, about 200,000 Ukrainians are technically eligible for Israeli citizenship. That means they have at least one grandparent who's Jewish. The European Jewish Congress says that the number may be more than 200,000, it could be 400,000. There are lots of people in Ukraine who do have some sort of Jewish ancestry. So where do they all live? Well, most of them are in the larger cities, about 100,000, perhaps 110 in Kyiv. That includes about 6 synagogues, and there are some reform, progressive synagogues in Kyiv and in other cities in Ukraine as well. In Dnipro, there are 60,000 Jews. There are kosher restaurants. There are kosher restaurants. There's a mikveh, and there are many Jewish-owned businesses. In Odessa, there are 45,000 Jews, including 4 synagogues, a Jewish museum, and about a dozen Jewish schools, including kindergartens. There's also a number of Jewish orphanages there. The president of Ukraine is Jewish. The president of Ukraine is Jewish. Now, just last week, the US ambassador to the United Nations office in Geneva, her name is Bathsheba Crocker, she began circulating a letter that was sent to the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights. Now, in it, she wrote something that is believed to be true, although it has not yet fully been verified. She wrote that Russia would resist the actions of specific people through murders, kidnappings, forcible disappearances, and unjust detention. Now, who is on this list that these kinds of things may happen to? Who might be kidnapped? Who might disappear? Who might be a target? Well, according to this list, there are vulnerable populations, such as religious and ethnic minorities. So once again, the Jews are a target, along with political dissidents, LGBTQ activists, and others. Dear friends, we don't need to watch Fiddler on the Roof to feel connected to the Jews of Ukraine. For many, this is our story. The grandparents of the Jews who are there, as we just saw, those are our grandparents. We're cousins. Every single Jew who's there is a cousin of ours. We are mishpacha. So what can we do? As I shared in an email to the congregation yesterday, it is a mitzvah. It is a commandment for us to take action. We can't do anything about international policy. We're not going to stop Putin from his aggression. But we can give to organizations like the World Union for Progressive Judaism. That's the umbrella organization of progressive Jews throughout the world. Just like Temple Akiba is a member of the URJ, the Union for Reform Judaism here in North America, the World Union for Progressive Judaism is the umbrella organization across the world. There is a fund through the WUPJ that we can give to help not only the Jews, but others in Ukraine, to help them survive, to help them have their needs filled. It is not only a mitzvah, but it's a mitzvah that we can do on Shabbat to help them out. There's an organization that we're aware of called HIAS, the Hebrew Immigrant Aid Society. Historically, this is a Jewish organization, but it is truly an organization to help all people throughout the world in situations like this. Go to their website and you can help out. Go to the Jewish Federation of Los Angeles. On the front of their page is a button. Press here to make a donation. Please, please, please do not put it off. And do not make the donation just once, because this is not a short-lived something. We need to help in every way that we can as our world goes through this crisis. There is a saying in Hebrew, Kol Yisrael, Kol Yisrael gam zeh lezeh, arevim zeh lezeh. Everyone in Israel is responsible for one another. This is our commandment, this is our mission, and this is what we need to be doing. I ask now, friends, that you close your eyes, think deeply, and pray hard. And after you pray, to make it that donation so that we can have survival in our world. We pray silently, everyone.
Oh, may the words of my mouth, the meditation of my heart, be acceptable before you. Adonai, my rock and my redeemer. Oh, say shalom B'Romav. Say shalom Aleinu. Ve'al Yisrael. Ve'yimeru, ve'yimeru. Amen.
We turn to page 253, page 253. Right in the center of the page is our prayer for healing. This prayer gives us an opportunity to think about those who spiritually, physically, emotionally, or mentally can use a special hug so that they can feel shalom. We're going to sing together the first part of the prayer, and when we get to the center, as my eyes meet yours, please, if you're comfortable, share out loud names of people that you're thinking of who could use that prayer. And for those who are Zooming in or on YouTube, please place those names in our chat box so that we can all know who is in need of healing. What an honor it is now to invite forward, representing our temple leadership, Morris Zlotowicz. Morris is our board director of finance. And Morris, it's good to see you. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat
May I?
Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Right from Mike Morris.
Okay. On behalf of the board of directors, just want to welcome everyone to Temple Akiba. I'm just also, just welcome back. This is our, first time back. It seems not even sure when the last time we were back in the synagogue, but it is nice to be here. And I can see there are some new faces that I see that are here celebrating Julia and her bat mitzvah tomorrow. So welcome to you who are here for the first time, and for others who are either here for the first time or just welcome back to our synagogue. Also, just Mazel Tov, Julia, and congratulations to you and your parents. I know you can already see tomorrow's going to be a great day for you. There is a lot going on at the temple. I just wanted to mention a few things. Tomorrow's going to be, again, Julia's bat mitzvah tomorrow. We also have the Mishlok Manot. So that's a great opportunity to donate to the temple. It's a great fundraiser, a new fundraiser for us. So if you haven't done it yet, it's a lot of fun. I would really go online and you'll enjoy reaching out to people and participating in that fundraiser we have. There's also the Tikkun Alum Committee is partnering with Grace Diner to provide clothes for those in need. So if you do want to participate in that event, you can, I would say, just contact the office. That's, I think the drop-off is, I think it's coming up this weekend. So Sunday it is? Okay, thank you, Sarah. Also this Sunday is, I'm going to try to make this our beer tasting in person here. So I would say if you can do that, should be fun. And then Challah Braid and Bake, which is Thursday, March 10th. And then I'm so excited about our Purim Carnival. So that's coming up on March 20th. And I know, Cantor, there's some Purim Spiel. So that's going to be something to look forward to, and be able to do it in person is going to be really, really great. So again, Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you, Morris. Thank you so much, Morris. We are going to continue now with our concluding prayers, beginning with the Aleinu. It's on page 282, about halfway down the page. And we invite all once again who are able to please rise.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon ha'kol, l'atei tefillah l'tzeh breshit, shelo asadik v'haratzah, v'lo samanu, v'mishpachot ha'adamah, shelo samu chalkeinu kachem, v'gor aleinu,
Please be seated, everyone. On page 291, there are stars up above so far away we only see their light long, long after the star itself is gone. And so it is with people that we loved. Their memories keep shining ever brightly, though their time with us is done. The stars that light up the darkest night, these are the lights that guide us. As we live our days, these are the ways we remember. At this time, we remember friends and family of our community who have died, who continue to shine upon us from their eternal resting spaces. We begin with those for whom we are in Shloshim, the first 30 days of mourning, including Emily Kaiser Winfield. Is there anyone else in our community who is observing Shloshim the first 30 days since a loved one has died? So sorry, Sarah. We add to their names the yard sites, the anniversaries of the deaths that occur on this Shabbat. We begin with those who have plaques in our Urfrig Memorial Room. Leo Bleifer, Bernard Brewston, Art Cooper-Smith, Meyer Drizik, Samuel Dubin, Esther Foreman, Rose Greenberg, Erwin Meyer, Malcolm Siegel, Victor Simon, Hannah Sarah Weinberg, Ray Wolford. And as I continue with additional yard sites, for those who are here via Zoom, if you do not believe that your yard site is on the list that we have, please add their names in the chat box. We remember John Basaraba, Lillian T. Bell, Florence Berger, Mel Bloch, Aaron Boniak, Julia Cookier-Siegler. Just a word about Julia. She was maybe 14 years old when she died a number of years ago from an accident where a car hit her. Joan Friedman, Mary Ginsburg, Esther Goldberg, Robert Goldberg, Bruce Haworth, Henry Hellman, Fanny Hosman Kopp, Gerald Iscom, Fred Jamner, Beatrice Josephson, Herbert Karnofsky, Adolf Lambowitz, Al Michelson, Betty Mitzman, Judith Polak, Celia Rappaport, Michael Rausch, Aaron Rosenkrantz, Amalia Sojit, Nathan Starr, James Trockman, John Wyman, Erwin Weinberg, Walter Franklin Wistman, Esther Wolf, Bill Wolfson, Amelia Ziesler. Are there additional yard sites that those who are here are observing at this time? We remember each and every one of them with words of the mourner's Kaddish. We're on page 294. We invite everyone to please rise. Yitkadal, Yitkadash, Shemei Rabbah, B'yamad Yivrach Torotei, B'yamlich Malchutei, V'chayechon V'yamechon, V'chayei Dechol Beit Yisrael, B'galau V'yizman Kariv Imru Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabbah Mevarach Leolam Olmei Olmaya. Yiparach, V'yishtabach, V'yitpa'ar, V'yitromam, V'yitnaseh. V'yitadar, V'yitaleh, V'yitalal. Shemei Tekudashah, Barichu. Me'elam min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran bi'alma v'imru, amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, L'chaim, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. May the one who causes peace to be known in the high heavens help us understand that by reaching out to one another, we create peace on earth as well. For all Israel and for all humanity, we say, Amen. Please be seated, everyone. Julia, we cannot wait to celebrate tomorrow. Tonight was such a great way to enter into this beautiful weekend where we truly enter into a Shabbat filled with your light. So, Mazel Tov again to your family. Friends, after our closing song, cantors and I are going to want to greet you as you exit. We're going to ask that you please take your blue prayer books, don't take them home, but take them so we can put them back on the shelves in the back of the sanctuary so they can be ready for the bat mitzvah tomorrow. Cantor, what are we closing with?
We are closing with the singing of O Shalom. It's the last few lines of the prayer that we just read. And there's some hand motions that go with this as well, so hopefully you'll follow along with us.
Ya'aseh shalom. Amen. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down. With many thanks to Catherine, I'm not sure, she may have gone in back, who is on our professional staff who helped us out tonight on this end. Thank you to Carol Diamond, who helped us on the Zoom end for those who are at home. We couldn't do it without you. Thank you to Mary Lou Basaraba, who helped fill in during that awkward moment at the beginning. Mary Lou is our choir director, and so she stepped in. I really appreciate that. Everyone, you're all going to get one of these on your way out. This is not big enough for all of you, but we're going to offer the motzi together. Motzi lechem min haaretz. We give thanks to God for bread. Our voices joining happy chorus as our prayer is humbly said. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam. Motzi lechem min haaretz b'tei avot. Shabbat shalom, everyone!